What makes you not want to have kids?
I would be a terrible parent.
The fact that nothing really makes me want to have them. I feel like you should have an overwhelming desire to become a parent. I don't, so why would I have a kid?
As a child of a parent who didn't actively want them, thank you for thinking about what this does to a kid.
I've been dealing with a mentally disabled older brother for nearly all my life. He's 32 years old, but acts like a 7 years old nearly all the time. I love him to death, but after so long of dealing with him growing up, I'm 22. I just do not have the patience to handle something like that again. Edit. Wow, didn't expect this to blow up. Thanks for the kind and understanding comments, everyone. To everyone else struggling with something similar, know that you're not alone. It may feel exhausting at days, and sometimes you might wish you weren't even in such a posture. But cherish those moments you share with them where they're the happiest you've ever seen them. Because at the end of the day, you're all they have left. I fear for my brother's future every day, and hope that he grows up well without the need for us to care for him 24/7.
This is my big one. I feel terrible for this, but the fear of having a child that isn't going to grow into a fully independent person with no limitations stopped me dead. If there was a guarantee they would be of average mental capability, I might reconsider.
It's irreversible. You can't unhave kids when you've committed to it, so when you have all those doubts and fears you might not be a good parent, it's hard to take the plunge. Plus I'd have to find someone to have a kid with and make more money for it to be viable, but I think they're secondary to actually wanting to go through with it.
You can unhave them, but it is generally frowned upon.
Those kids who have parents that are perfectly normal but still somehow act like mini serial killers.
Yeah, nature versus nurture. As the parent of 2 kids and sibling of 6, it's clear to me personalities are simply a dice roll.
Pregnancy.
This is 90% of it for me. I've always been terrified of pregnancy, but I thought I'd feel more comfortable with it as I got older. Nope, I'm 34 and the thought of being pregnant still freaks me out to no end. I'd love to adopt, but I don't think I ever want to be pregnant.
I've been clinically depressed for almost a decade. Postpartum depression is one of the things that terrifies me about the prospect of having kids. Also, I am in no way mentally stable enough to be a parent.
I feel this in my soul. Everything about pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum life just sounds terrifying. Oh, I may experience wild hormonal swings that make me feel crazy. Cool. I may lose teeth because of increased gingivitis and my body prioritizing nutrition to the fetus. Awesome. I may wind up with one combo vag-rectum after giving birth, instead of 2 separate holes. Fantastic. I will probably always pee myself a little when I run, laugh, or sneeze. Wonderful. I won't be able to take lots of important medication for the 2 years that pediatricians recommend nursing. Great. There's a non-trivial risk that I will literally die while giving birth. Just peachy. I won't be able to eat deli meat, sushi, large fish, coffee, or alcohol for a year minimum. Delightful. I'll probably barf my guts out for 7 weeks. Glorious. I'll spontaneously leak milk from my boobs if I hear a baby crying. Marvelous. I might get an yeast infection on my nipples from breastfeeding my baby. Magnificent.
Watching my sister's kid get kicked out of daycare for slamming a kid's face into a table and hitting a teacher. He's 3, and the most difficult kid I've met. Edit, lol, I've got replies saying he's being abused and replies saying he's being gentle parented. It's a catch-22, no matter what, you're either too rough or too gentle. He lives at my house with his mum and sister, I usually WFH, no one beats him, and he is regularly punished. Now someone's gonna say he's punished too much, he just gives no FS.
Growing up with an inexplicably evil older sibling. Kids aren't always sweet and innocent.
Money, responsibility, not having any good genes to pass on.
My neighbor has 7 of them. The only form of communication in that house is screaming. The teenage boy just screamed in the middle of my typing this. Kid is absolute poo at whatever game he's trying to play. My work meetings are constantly interrupted by his whiny cursing, crying sessions.
Not trusting myself enough that I'd be motivated enough to take care about them constantly and treat them the way they deserve. Edit, I guess this could be interpreted as a fear of commitment or running away from responsibility. But for now I am committed to my freedom, I seek spaciousness.
I told my sister a few years ago that I don't want kids because I'm too selfish. I like my freedom, my peace and quiet, my life with just me and my husband where money is still sometimes tight but it's just us. She told me that was the most unselfish thing she'd ever heard. Imagine if you bowed to peer and family pressure and had a kid you didn't want, couldn't take care of the way a kid needs. Knowing yourself enough to not put you or your hypothetical child in that situation is incredibly smart and not at all selfish.
I don't want to have the responsibility to raise something that will end up like me.
Well, the total lack of wishing to have a child. Zero desire. Just like I have no desire to have a pet rhino or become a lawyer.
My mental health and financial situation. I wouldn't want to raise a kid the same way I was raised.
I can barely take care of myself sometimes it feels like. Can't possibly take on another human. More selfishly, there's still a lot of things I want to do that I couldn't if I had a kid. Lastly, just a pessimistic view of the world and the desire to not want to bring new life into that.
I couldn't have written it better. Every time I just have black coffee for breakfast, I wonder how in heaven's sake am I supposed to take care of a kid from childbirth up to their 20s.
The better question would be what would make me want to have kids, and to that I say almost nothing. There's far too many reasons not to have kids.
All the suffering I have and all life and time is enough to convince me to make the choice not to procreate. Adoption maybe if I was rich and successful.
Kids.
The best birth control is seeing everyone else's pooty kids.
Not wanting to pass on genetic chronic pain, mental illness. Also kids equals no money.
All of it, the money, the time, the mental toll, the world we live in, the overpopulation, the lack of interest in kids, the lack of a partner, the presumable lack of parental skills, my own autism, the autism that my kids would probably inherit.
Selfishness. I like the freedom of being able to wake up or go wherever I want without worrying. Who's gonna watch my kids? Or, my kids are awake so I have to be awake. So I guess I value my personal freedom more than anything a child could provide me.
Asterisk gestures broadly. Like, everything.
I work for Disney, and what I can say is %50 of parents look miserable. You're on vacation with your family, and everyone's miserable the whole time. That worries me. If your kid can't stop crying in public on vacation, how does that kid react at home?
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.